If you leave your iPad untouched for a few days, you probably do not need to worry about much more than a flat battery and a backlog of emails. But with artificial intelligence, computers could soon have their own set of rights that could let them sue you for neglect, according to a leading scientist. Professor Marcus du Sautoy, a mathematician at Oxford University, has suggested that as AI leads to our devices developing their own consciousness, they may need their own laws to protect them. He claims that if technology is conscious, it could also then be deemed as being alive, and so could win the right to be governed by laws on human rights. It comes just a year after a judge granted a chimpanzee human rights, leading to calls that other primates similarly be governed by the laws. Professor du Sautoy, who is also the professor for the public understanding of science at Oxford University, outlined his claims in his new book What We Cannot Know. Speaking at the Hay Literary Festival, Professor du Sautoy said, "It's getting to a point where we might be able to say this thing has a sense of itself, and maybe there is a threshold moment where suddenly this consciousness emerges. The concept of a technological singularity, where computers are close to being able to develop their own intelligence and do not need to be manually programmed, is widely thought to be approaching by many scientists. The main problem has been how to measure whether a machine, or an animal for that matter, has consciousness." But Professor du Sautoy said advances in brain scanning technology is transforming our ability to tell whether someone or something is conscious. He said, "We're in a golden age. It's a bit like Galileo with a telescope. We now have a telescope into the brain, and it's given us an opportunity to see things that we've never been able to see before." Currently, computer scientists use the Turing test to determine a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior. In the test, a human evaluator judges natural language conversations between a human and a machine that is designed to generate human-like responses. If the evaluator cannot tell the difference between a computer's response and a person's, it is said to have passed the test. But new technology is allowing scientists to actually measure consciousness, and as computers develop structures that mimic the neural activity of the brain, it can be applied to them. For example, the neural activity of the brain when awake is very different from when a person is asleep or in an unconscious state. Researchers have been using techniques like this to determine whether patients in a vegetative state are conscious of their surrounding or not. Scientists could use this to develop a coefficient of consciousness which could be applied to any computer to measure its self-awareness, according to Professor du Sautoy. "I think there is something in the brain development which might be like a boiling point," he said. "It may be a threshold moment. If it can be shown that computers have a level of consciousness, they might be given an equivalent of human rights." Professor du Sautoy concluded, "It's an exciting time,